All righty. Good to see everybody in the chat. Those that are here, I'm wearing my sperm donation glasses. Europe, good to see you. Char Megatron. Oh, wow. Push and squeeze. He gets it again. Megatron must be on the same wavelength. Absolutely. Good band. Unfortunately, grunge took them out. Grunge took out a lot of great bands. David Smith, good to see you. Paul is back. Carl is there. I am wearing this Clark Kent sperm donation glasses. My dad probably wore back in the 50s in high school. But yeah, it is what it is. But we got a little, I was just thinking about that. I read this article today, and I'm going to share it. I'm going to do something new today. I'm going to do something new. I'm going to share my screen. I've never done this before, but let's see how it works, folks. You know how people share their screens and so forth. But let's get into it. David says, before I get into that, truth is that infidelity is the new norm. The fantasy of a lifelong, sincere relationship is as dead as the 50s. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Let's see. Hold on. I got to get to this part. Who we got? Retro Shadow. Good to see you. Simp Superman glasses. Yeah, Europe. If she is your girlfriend, she got some men in the black. She calls them friends, but in reality, they are your replacement. The backup plan is always there. 100%. So let's see what we got here. Let's see, share screen. Does this work? Let me select the window. There it is right there. Okay. Lend me your ears and your eyeballs. This is out of Psychology Today. Okay. And see if you guys can see it all right. Let's jump into this. We use data from an online quiz, 94,000 individuals. Men were more likely than women to engage in sexual infidelity. That's nothing new, right? That's nothing new. So as we go down, let's see if do I have to go right? Okay, here we go. All right, good. Now I get it. Men were more likely. Okay, we get that. Women were more likely to have emotional affairs. We understand that. And with someone their primary partner knows. Someone their husband knows is the wife is getting her cheeks clapped. Most individuals confessed independently about their infidelity, while many more were discovered by their partner. Interesting, huh? We'll get into it. There's some more facts. We won't spend a ton of time on it, but I thought a lot of this stuff we already know. Cheating is her only game that she wins every time. Mysterio from Winnipeg, good to see you. So, we all know about infidelity. Men, in the past, it was, men, we can't keep our wieners in our pants and, so forth. We're opportunistic at that level. I would agree with that statement. But let's come down here. This was a survey of 94,000 people. It was anonymous. The website collected very little data. I would say it was probably 90% accurate. They were interesting. Let's come right here. Additionally, women were more likely than men to become involved in infidelity when there were problems in the relationship, or if they felt bored with their sex life, and to consider leaving their spouse because of their infidelity, and to engage with someone they knew. Someone they knew. Don't we always hear it's Kevin in sales? Interesting, huh? Shout out to, let's see, Retro says, women love the Tom and Jerry game. It's all a game until someone gets hurt. Well said. And very good advice. Keep them posted and zipped at all times, Mago. The Emperor Chris Mitchell is back. Good to see you, Chris. Gone with John is in the house. Good to see Gone. Putting out some great content. Everyone is. Women will lie in surveys to make themselves feel good. And I don't doubt that. In contrast, men were more likely to engage in sexual activity. Well, gosh darn it. and to do so more than once. No surprise there. Now, here's what's interesting. The findings of these outcomes of infidelity, check this out, 56.8% confessed. They felt the guilt, could be religious, could be all sorts of things, that maybe the guy or the gal had a heart. While others were caught by their partners 21.5% of the time. Or confessed when accused at 8.3%. Some people were accidentally discovered. Or had a third party inform their spouse at 4.5%. Think about that. Third parties, maybe it was a sister, a neighbor, a coworker that saw it. They told the people, right? So the bottom line is there's some stuff. I'll link the article to the chat, or actually to my info section on this video, so you guys can check it out. Mochi is back. Good to see you. Timmy Kramer, the Forever Bachelor, is in the house. Checking in from Sedona, Fossil Creek in the morning. Life is awesome. Attaboy. Now let's take a look at this. This part right here. This is pretty much all I'll read. Women were more likely to have an emotional affair, become involved with someone their partner knows, and consider ending their primary relationship due to the infidelity. Other studies show that women engage in infidelity because of weariness and frustration, and I would add abuse within their relationships, out of feeling neglected, or may search for alternative partners out of curiosity or boredom. Wow. Further, past work shows that men are 1.75 times more likely to report infidelity with a causal date than women. Interesting. Perhaps because women's concerns about personal safety are a significant motivation. There you go. 94,000 people responded. We learned that, guess what? Nothing new, right? And it is what it is. So we learned a little bit about things. They cheat. They cheat with someone typically the spouse knows, brother, a friend. How many times does that happen? 48 Hours does lots of videos and episodes just on that topic. Brandon Trueblood is back. Good to see you. Brandon, once a cheater, always a cheater. Well said. Brandon going live every day. JR. Blank Doubtfire is a bish. There you go. Let's see what else we got here. Let me get all you guys. David Smith, let's see. Okay, that's you guys are talking. Mochi says most women do not want a relationship with good men. It seems to appear that more and more women would rather take a complete jerk for quite some time before they settle down with a simp. But this is not rocket science. This is all psychology. Women love the bad boys in the beginning of their relationships, between the ages of 16 and 30, typically like the bad boys. Then they settle down with the simp. They settle down with Jim from accounting while they're getting their cheeks clapped by Kevin in sales, right? Shinobi's in the house. Good to see our Kiwi. Arvero is back. Good to see Arvero. Yeah, she sure cheats a lot. I mean, my ex had an affair, but you know what? I accept it. She never told me. I found out. But anyhow, this is the reality of marriages, relationships. There are so many different marriage statistics. They're all skewed, but I thought the infidelity piece was more of an interesting topic, where men and women. And what was interesting that almost 57% of the respondents told their significant others and spouses that they were cheating. Crazy. I thought it'd be a lot less than that. I thought them getting found out would be higher. Jack Horner, women say they feel trapped in a marriage. Trapped from doing what? Having sex with other men on the carousel with no accountability for their behavior. It's a great comment, brother. Shinobi says, brother, all in dire times, we will be tested. Failure isn't an option and more against our morals and conviction to the cause, your cause. It's time for you to become the survivor you are born to be. David, women are all superficial when they hook up with someone. It's all about looks, cash, status, or revenge, in my humble opinion. And you might not be wrong. You might not be wrong. 98% are not recommended. 1% to 2% are very rare, and they still need to be vetted every single day. If you want to keep a woman around, keep her guessing and listen. Your contact and keep your contact to a minimum. Well said. Mysterio, women to me go the emotional infidelity route over just for pure SEX. And I didn't read the one part where it said most of the women engage online emotional affairs versus physical affairs. And then obviously the emotional affair. I think the emotional affair is worse than a physical affair on the man's side. The man just wants to clap cheeks, right? Very few will fall in love. Maybe some do fall in love, but women, the emotional affair, I think is even worse. What say ye, though? Mochi says, most bad boy financially unreliable. Yeah, I mean, what does Tom Likas say? You want to get the women, become an alcoholic, become a drug addict, be a gambler, lose all your money, wreck your car, beat up people, have 3 stints in lockdown, and you'll probably have as many chicks as possible. So that's where that's where it is. So today I was fixing my bike. I had to readjust my seat post. I have a dropper post. So I was working on it. I greased it so I could tell it was getting a little sticky. And as I'm doing it, the people behind me, they're a young couple, maybe mid-20s, 26, 27. They've been in that. They're renting the house. He does very well. They have 2 Teslas. And today I just noticed she's walking out and she says she's got a baby. And I'm thinking, when was she pregnant? I mean, I've seen the husband multiple times to say hi to him and whatnot. And she's pregnant and now she has a 2-month-old baby. I said, how old's your baby? When did this happen? She goes, 2 months ago. I had no idea. But anyhow, the long and short of this is I was thinking to myself, sitting there watching her, thinking, wow, they had a kid. They're married. I remember those days when that first kid, had my first child, that age. And I'm like watching this real time thinking, I wonder if it's going to last. I wonder if it's going to last. She reminds me a lot of my ex-wife. He reminds me a lot of me. It's almost as like I'm living in an alternate reality watching me again. And I kept thinking, man, for the family and everything, I hope it works out. I really do. For those that want to follow that route and get married, I hope it works out for you. No ill intent. I know what will happen. I'll tell you that. The marriage will is undefeated. Not going to lie, I had more of an emotional affair when I was with my ex-fiance, so I may be the outlier. Interesting, brother. Retro Shadow says, all girls want to do is have fun. That song can never be more true. Cindy Lauper, Skittles ambassador. Well said. Old Christian Henne is in the house. Good to see you. What's up to you? We had or have lots of idols. Truly they speak wisdom, yet in the winter of 2019 it happened. Truth warfare was unleashed upon us. Blank and blank, 95% succumbed. I mean, I just saw a video today about that. They're seeing more and more rises of specific diseases because of the jabby jab. I am boring with the responsibility of raising a child alone. Most run away, says Slam. Good to see you, Slam. And check out Slam's channel, guys. If Rad's going for the Hanson brothers look, he needs some tape on the middle of his glasses. I do like them. They're different. They were cheap. Online. Went to my doctor, my optometrist, and he's like, yeah, we got some lenses. And they had some nice black frames. It was like, for everything, it was like $400. And I'm like, what? I buy my glasses online. Just give me the damn prescription. I'll go get 6 days later, I get these glasses. I think I spent $32 for total lenses and everything. And I've got Coke bottle lenses. Driving your BMW for $300, Trebek. Now, some idols revealed they do not like us, not one bit. The truth is 95% of people didn't want the truth. Well, that's the thing, brother. There are so many people that they will stay asleep to truth. They do not want to hear it. They do not care about it. If Abraham Lincoln came out and said, this world is falling apart, they wouldn't believe it, whomever, right? They just don't want to accept reality. And I see that a lot with married men or guys going to a second and third marriage. We have the data and statistics. I saw this video today of a guy in Thailand, and he's from England, and he's living in Thailand, been there 10 years. He's married to his fourth wife. The first two in England took him for all he had, and he's saying, is there life after divorce? And so I'm like, oh, I want to hear this guy's story. He's living, in Southeast Asia. He's an expat. And all of a sudden finds out this guy, he got married to his third wife in the Thailand, and she divorced him. It didn't cost that much, apparently. And then he married a fourth one. And I didn't write a comment, but I was about to write a comment saying, what in the hell is wrong with you? Number one, total clickbait. No father figure, no matter what women say about women, it's always men's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. David Smith, I buy direct. Yep. I think I bought mine on some funky one. Good for you for no fap. I think there's value in moderation. We have the data. We was the data. Shinobi One. Gerald's back says, they prefer to eat the blue pill. The blue pill, here's one thing about betas and sims, and we've all been in that situation. Luckily, we took the pill, we swallowed it, we digested it. It probably caused massive nausea, but we've come out of it and realized we're a little bit more clear in how we see the world now, right? But most men will continue to swallow the blue pill because it's what they know. It's their programming. It's the fantasy of labels. It's the fantasy of a reality that exists in their head, just as the reality for women exists in their head. Now, luckily, most of us have woken up to say, you know what? It's not for me anymore. I went through it. I went through the courts. I went through the divorce. Yeah, maybe I'll hit and quit, whatever. Maybe I'll go monk. Maybe I'll do this. But at the end of the day, we have digested the pill. A lot of people say the red pill. They never take it. They don't swallow it. It's in their mouth, but they have not swallowed it. They have not gone through the fire of the red pill, which is massive amounts of upsetted stomach, nausea, dry heaves, everything that you can think. And all you care is to get out of that. But once you do get out of it, your head is much clearer. You've gone through the gauntlet of understanding what this philosophy and way of living is. They'd end us to eat that blue pill eternal. Well said, Shinobi. Brother Rat, I'm going to learn to fly my fly. There you go. You should go be a pilot. All right, Brother Char. Have fun in Deutschland. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Don't let a blue pill put your brain back into the blender, says Megatron. Ain't that the truth? I have no pity for a simp, but I recognize that we are all simps in recovery. Yes. If anyone says, yeah, I'm no simp, never been, bullshit. Everyone's been a simp. Every man on this planet has been a simp. Why? Programming. Most of us didn't go. Maybe there's one or two men that have gone that left school at 7 years old, like the Amish, and went and worked with their dads in the fields. But how many people? You don't work in the fields anymore. The machines plow the fields. It's a very different world. I wonder, does retirement provide enough time for NPC blue pillars to wake up? I think when guys get into retirement, if they're divorced, they're going to seek a companion. They want to be connected. They don't. The aloneness is literally their kryptonite. They do not want to be alone. The temptation of women is unbreakable, especially if you are a single married guy nowadays, says Retro. Well said, brother. Anyone want to play video games with me? No. Polska Bob will. Go to Polska's channel. So that's reality, right? The reality is both men and women are susceptible to infidelity. Men typically want appreciation and affection. When they don't get it, they will stir in their negativity and their irritability and their frustration of not having their wife put out or be affectionate, or she's turned into a Karen. And so some will cheat, some won't. Some will hold on to the vow of marriage, and they will not allow. But the vow of marriage also is part of the sexual intimacy with your partner. So when the woman isn't putting out, when the woman claims that I'm not feeling emotionally connected to you, so I'm not going to have sex tonight. Again, she is disavowing her vows. She is not living up to her vows. So what's the difference if a man goes outside of the bounds of marriage to get a little, to get some cheeks, but yet she can she can not uphold her vows by just telling you she's not interested? I see a disconnect. Never trust the body count they say, says Slam. Well said. I worked with my dad in the family earthworks business until my brother, rest in peace, betrayed us and no longer betrayed us and took over. Now dad and I with my son work on our farmlands, work life lost. Paradise. Gotcha. Yeah, there's very rare people that do that today, and hopefully your son has learned from the masculine attributes of both you and your father. Trust is number one. Well said. That's one thing. Trust is very difficult for me now, outside of what we've been through. I don't trust what people say anymore. I only look at actions. Huh. No room for relationships, says Arvero. The new life. Where is the new life from? Doesn't need emotional connection to Chad for sex. The wife, the woman, doesn't need emotional. Probably, sure. She's got that Christian 50 Shades of Grey thing going on in her head. My ex-fiance and I were always very physical, even at the end, but emotionally, I knew she wasn't into the relationship. That's why I had to find that emotional connection elsewhere. Yeah, I mean, women check out too. It's very difficult to maintain monogamy. It really is. I mean, I read this report that said 17% of married couples are happy. So that means 83% of married couples are unhappy. I would say that's pretty accurate, or that seems believable. But I think it might be 17% might be too high. It might be 10%. Women will say they want to connect more, but then they don't allow you to plan anything that helps you get closer. The more the goalposts, they move the goalposts and cover their tracks with lies. It is what it is. Well said, Bookshelf. Thanks for being here with that comment. There you go. Live that life, Christian. Free agent. It's easy for women to keep a man, and it's extremely difficult for a man to even qualify. Ooh. That'd be a great bumper sticker, Slam. What if all over the world there were sanctioned brothels for men? What would women do? They go nuts. They find a way to say it's, they'd find a way to stop it, right? WHO's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Hello to you. You might wonder, why did my brother betray us? Because his ass married a single mom with 2 kids, and she corrupted him. Now lost family. He has lost half when she left. Never save a street 304. Well said. And as Brandon would say, monk mode for the win. Guys, we have talked about this. Multiple channels have talked about this. Most of our troubles in life stem from relationships. And if you disagree, that's great. Most do. When a man's trying to make a shit ton of money to make his wife happy, a couple things happen. His health goes sideways. He's working too much. She gets upset, even though she wants everything. You can't, what's the word? You can't satisfy him. And are you satisfied in the process? No. Big Papa Monk, good to see you, brother. Eminem's daughter. Yeah, she a 304. There you go. Brandon Trueblood says, sanctioned brothels are OnlyFans, like that 72-year-old that's on there. Sure. It's a virtual brothel if you think about it. I can imagine what's going on with some of those channels, what they do. Retro says, once a woman's hooked to a cell phone, it's impossible to compete with that unless you really grab her attention. Well, the cell phone is the new boyfriend, is the new husband, is the new affair, is the new validation. It's everything. It's literally, it's a Switch army knife for women. It's got everything that they could have. Validation for men. Attention. Dopamine. All the things. Now, before the cell phones, I remember those days, it was a different world, right? Shinobi is absolutely right with that comment. It seems to be a paradise for those wackos. Final nail in the marriage reduction would be legal brothels. And who knows? Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see it. I mean, look at all the other debauchery going on in this world, cutting kids, children's body parts off, allowing that to happen. You know, removing the parents from being parents and letting the government come in. Maybe they'll allow this. I mean, they've allowed 420 to pass, and I think most states it's legal now. So who knows? But that'll probably be the last bastion to pass. It'd probably take a long time. Results oriented, 72-year-old. Yeah, I saw that. Good to see you, brother. Yep. When you're driving your BMW, they're looking at you, aren't they? You're all just mice living in a paradise. Well said. OnlyFans is denigrating. Yeah, and men, I want to know the men that go to those sites. I want to know, does it mess with their self-esteem? I would love to know about what it does mentally to men. It's far more than porn. And porn, as we know, there's a lot of studies of what it does physically to your body. Take all the morals out of it. Physical, it creates ruts in your brain, which are not good. BJ Fornish, good to see you, brother. But what does OnlyFans subscription do to men's mental? I guarantee it's worse than anything. The most peace I ever had is the last 8 years of me and my son living alone. There you go, brother. A whole month for $5. What a bargain. I don't even, what do they charge? $5-10 a month? We have a big simp problem worldwide. OnlyFans 304s make millions. All the simps put women in the dating world on a pedestal. Most men are simps. Absolute facts right there, Europe. Absolute facts. You stay out of trouble, Christian. Latvia City, Riga, Latvia, girls 50 US. Jeez. Ladies, keep calling Chaz. It's a win for all men. Have a nice day. JC from Texas. Yeah, I mean, you think that a man that's paying for a woman to say, "Oh, thank you, sweetie. Oh, hey, sweetheart. Hey, darling." And the guy gets a little attention from a woman. Maybe he's an incel. Maybe he's in a marriage that sucks. But still, at the end of the day, I can't imagine the positive feelings that come out of it. I could be totally wrong. Maybe it helps maybe it helps marriages, but I don't see it. I could see paying a membership if it's like your local teacher school or PTA moms, attaboy, for the win. Pray to God your ladies' moms and attitude don't end up cucking you. DNA test. Yep, may granddad in peace. He rests. Seems like Chad was actually dad. Not her fault. It was the malt. There you go. How about that one judge that got on, I don't know, a couple months ago? I saw that clip somebody sent me. And he found out he was a family court judge. He found out his 2 kids were not his and they were in their 30s. Talk about karma. Married means you're in a prison. Well, look, being in a marriage, I remember what it was like. There were some good times. There were some times that were extremely difficult, but you always felt like you had to give yourself away to make for the better. And we as men would do that to sacrifice our lives, or the majority of our lives, for the betterment of our kids and our wife and the family structure. And knowing that someday they're going to fly the coop and we're going to get our lives back somehow. But by then there's grandkids, there's all sorts of things. Good to see Jason Reed from Colorado. Marriage is a ball and chain. When it goes bad, you can't get away. You'll never get away from your ex. Somehow, some way, she will be in your life, even if you don't even talk to her. Checking in, damn YouTube notifications. Hopefully I didn't miss much. Good to see Steven from Arizona. Want to prevent infidelity? Avoid cohabitation. Oh, there's a great tip right there, brother. Justin is in the house. Good to see you. David says that false notion of personalized content is the worst part of OnlyFans. It just goes to show the level of desperation that modern men are feeling. It's honestly a very sad situation. Absolutely. 100% agree with that statement. A man must bend his knee to invite a woman in. Never again. Gone with John. Gone with John. Fishing yesterday. Is it realistic to have hot SEX from 20 to 90? Depends on who you are. David Smith representing Colorado, 303. I was supposed to be there this week. Decided not to. We are all just dice men. There you go. I think I remember that song. There you go. Here is some great advice. No marriage, no cohab, no new children to avoid usury and indentured servitude. Men will sacrifice their happiness for their families. Women will sacrifice their families for happiness. Absolute facts right there, Brandon Trueblood. Appreciate you putting that in. They will sacrifice their families for happiness. Happened to me. Happened to Trueblood. Happened to a lot of guys. Marriage is nice when both love each other and build a team. But in those times, all women are 3 or 4s. They will take all your money and use parental alienation. The majority will. Majority will, Europe. Who wants to cohab more, men or women? I think you're right for women. If the man's older, they just got out of a marriage, probably. But yeah, I think you're right. I wonder if you were a desert island with your dream mate, if the relationship works or if she would still leave you and live on the other side of the island. Did you ever see what the hell was that name? Couples Therapy. Was it Couples Therapy? It was with like Jason Bateman and a bunch the guys, and they go to this island to work on their marriages. And it was John Favreau, that older kind of goofball guy. He's been in most of those films. And the concierge, he sees all these hot chicks in the lobby of the hotel where they're checking in with their wives and the other friends that are going with their wives too. And John Favreau says, "Hey, where are those chicks going?" And the concierge is like, "They're going to the other island." "Oh, how do I get there? How do I get to the other island?" He finally gets to the other island. But anyhow, that's funny. Steven, Arizona with the desert island. Women who call you nicknames, honey, sweetheart. That's a red flag too, Retro. Absolutely. Or handsome. Hi, handsome. Men who are married right now, I will say to them, rest in peace, brother. Prepare for your funeral. Winter is coming. And I would say they try to lead men on. Men, when they're cute, it's like a little girl calling her daddy, "Daddy, daddy, can I do this, daddy?" Mine did it. Jay just walked away from a year-long relationship because she was spending more time with one of her friends than me. I'm done with relationships. Yeah, that's not a good sign, brother. Good to have you. Tell me where you're from. Happens to a lot. Couples retreat. That's it. Stephen, can you be a good moral person and take no accountability? Chase, wow. You have to think about that one. I think women do it, but is it good or more? I don't know. That's kind of an interest. That's like no matter how you answer that question, it's going to be sus. I always seen my family as something valuable to be protected, cherished, and to do right by it. So how women don't, very depressing. Women live in the moment. They live in the moment, guys. So anything they decide in the moment is their truth. Jason Bateman, Couples Retreat. That was a good movie. Good work, brother Jay. The crazy leap. Now get on your purpose. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of guys are getting fed up. You're better off without her. See how much support you got in the chat? All the guys I know who are married hate their lives. Lots of them do. Lots of them do, Christian. Female nature versus social programming. What percentage of each of you do you think most impacts and directs modern women? Programming. Programming more than anything. Time to go back to work. Good to see you, Brandon. Be safe out there. All the way from Maryland. My mother is from Bethesda. Bethesda, Maryland. You guys have to check out that movie. Mysterio says, chicks that refer to their as a significant other as their partner. Or, yeah, I'm looking for my life partner. That sounds Skittles. Love has been used on me from the Scottish lady at the coffee shop. There you go. Hi, love. They think it's cute, but it's a red flag. It's because the authority is gone in the relationship. That's your only option to leave, and it costs money. For a man without purpose, he finds it in a woman. Oh, yeah, so many guys. So many guys. I did when I got married. The cost and return on a marriage is none. There's no ROI, very little. Went to get a receipt at the gas station from my company, and the girl at the counter copped an attitude and acted like she couldn't find it for about 15 minutes. Women still time to punish you. They're looking for ways to punish lots of guys. Justin, women aim to cohabitate because they benefit from it. Whatever happened to that buddy of yours in Oregon, Rad, one that won't leave his house? The one that wouldn't leave, he eventually had to sell it, and she got part of it. And she only lived there 18 months, or they were only together 18 months. Go figure. JC De Niro, I saw that today. That dude is whacked. It makes me question all of his movies now. The guy's a total beta simp. Total friggin' victim. Do you think anytime your ex around your wedding had... yeah, sure. There was a time we both did. It's true. Women won on the island. They sure do. Social pressure to conform. Let's see. If you're not sleeping with homeless men, then you're not with us, Becky, says Becky. Rad, I should... yeah, I'll get Shinobi wrenched here. I shifted my focus and it cost me my career and my opportunity. That's what happens when we put a woman on a pedestal. It's crazy how many red flags us men will ignore because we're in love. Love blinds everything. There's risk and rewards. Absolutely, Christian. Karen shouldn't work a regular job. Oh, I deal with a lot of them in healthcare. Women want love, men want respect. I love you now gives me PTSD and it's meaningless. Correct. The blue-pilled fantasy is quite strong, folks. It's alive and well today. Men who want marriage in 2024 means they hate to be alone. They can't live alone. They don't know who they are because they've been programmed to put a woman as their identity. Divorced men are 9 times more likely to commit deletions. Don't get married ever, guys. Yep. They won on the island, really. Your ex is an ex for a reason. Now she is the problem for the next man. Yeah, feel sorry for the next guy. He's going to get it worse, quicker. Black Pill Backer is in the house. Good to see you. Play them before you get played. I learned the hard way. So did I. Never take them back. Never accept, tolerate, or violate your values, morals, ethics, or principles. Never bathe in dirty water is what we say on this channel. Yes, they did themselves. They won reason and accountability. It's crazy. Every woman I have dated have always wanted me to quit my high-paying job. I have always chosen my career over them. Good, attaboy, Stephen. Attaboy. David says, those men are not only lonely, they're brainwashed. They believe that the only value they have is through a woman. Most men are like that. Most men. What was the most childish thing my ex ever did? She would just throw fits more than anything if she didn't get her way. The woman won the island on accountability. Ooh, okay. Oh, my thanks, brother. Yours is awesome. Show a place for all us to come and hang out. Everyone knows you're real and your words are more so. Thank you, brother. Let's see here. I will make sure that you get wrenched later tonight. Remember, graduate college, marry women, have kids, buy a house, work hard, work more to buy a bigger house, credit, debt, work more, she divorce. Yep, that's programming right there. And us men, we go like lambs to the slaughter. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to have the kids. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to have the white picket fence. And I'm going to work my ass off and get no respect. You know, I did not know, Mysterio, any of them. Good thing. Modern women don't love you. They see value in something that you can provide. Everything is transactional. which is modern prosty. Retire at 55, don't get used for resources. You know, in this philosophy, this way of life, you can retire early. Well, and hopefully your debts do not are out of control. Only way to accept to quit your job if a woman asks is to ask her for the lump sum of what you would have made until retirement. Well said, WHO. That's right. Don't ever take them back because nothing will change. My brother tried to get his ex-wife back, his second. I'm like, dude, it's going to be worse. She's going to actually, this gives her more firepower for the next time. She's going to have a better plan the second time around. There's a difference between being lonely and alone, fellas. Well said, Justin. Loneliness is seeking external validation from others. You want to be recognized that you're a good little boy, that people like you. My ex-wife liked to break and damage stuff. She'd smash things when she got mad. She kicked in the door. I never did that. She'd run away. She'd pull this Mochi 76 times 4. She would say, "You will not talk to me like that," or something like that. I go, "What'd you learn that in your book from your therapist? You will not talk to me like that. In those words, you will not address me like that." I'm like, then I did it again. And then she'd storm out the room. They cannot sit there if she did not get her way, she would run out. A life of peace has great, great value. Well said. We need accountability, Christian. Radical Rafter in the house. Good to see you, brother. She is strong and independent. She buys a big house, got divorced, and then she buys 100 boxes of wine, 5 cats, and we'll call them their kids. Yep, fur mommies. Or what do they call it? Fur mom? I have a fur baby. No, that's not a baby. That's not a human. What's your reaction when you hear that people have broken up or divorced? It's starting to come off to me as amusing. No surprise. I typically like that. If it's someone I've known that's been married, it's par for the course. Yeah, it was just a matter of time. Pretty much numb to it now. Salem witch trials. Research it and determine for yourself who is predominantly responsible for the alligators that prompted the trials and what followed. I'll have to check that out. I never really looked at those. I have the idea of it, but I'm gonna research that tonight. Majority of marriages, the man makes more. Women will then say that they marry for love. I'm sure the men making more is just a coincidence. Will Murphy. Well, the man works more because he makes more because he works more. I would say they only think of their thirsts and their firsts, thirsting for doing better than what they've had before and their first Chad, first Alpha, first Tyrone, first therapist. You're spot on, Shinobi, with that comment. You're spot on. Well, very few women are accountable for their action. Just remember that. I would say 1% to 2%. All modern women talk like men, act like men, but don't date men. Isn't that interesting how they just want to invade? So would there be a disconnect between the man and the woman in today's world? Sure. My cousin complained a few years ago that his wife wanted another child. They had 3, and he said he wanted to be 2, but he didn't have the money or house. Women think money just appears. Oh, yeah, there's always a money tree in a marriage somewhere, right? And if you ever find that money tree, let me know. I have no pity for a simp. I'll try to tell men the truth, but most won't listen until they're in an effed up situation. You cannot recruit for the red pill. You have to go through the gauntlet. You have to be in divorce. And a lot of men in divorce will not even allow themselves to look at this kind of stuff. They're still hoping they can get the wife back. They don't want to go through divorce, especially if they've been served the papers. Best thing for us men to do is thrive alone as the barbarians of the deep past. We should also consider picking one of the states and populate the hell out of it. There you go. Yeah. I think the best thing is minimalism. Not inviting misery into your life is absolutely optimal. Very few relationships work, guys. That's the reality. It's not because I'm anti this and I'm not anti-marriage. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend marriage, cohabitation, kids, taking care of others, living with somebody, splitting up all that crap. Great. But I'm not anti. I'm just giving you the cold hard truth. The cold hard truth says monogamy is a very difficult situation, and it doesn't work the majority of the time. 83% of all children today in the United States of America live in broken families. 17% of the kids have a mom and dad in the house. And I don't know how great those relationships are, but there you go. If the programming can manipulate a woman, it means her brain cells are dead. Every man or woman can choose his own way. They choose to be a 304 or get divorced. Well said. Feminisms and modern women are blank, no accountability, no morals, virtue, honor, just living in lust, sex, and they live in the fantasy. What does the fantasy tell us in our mind? Especially women. Women's fantasies have got to be, I would love to get in a woman's brain and just like watch their fantasy. Can you imagine? If I could do anything for a day, what would it be? I'd love to jump inside their brain, how it works. Work to age 80. Thank you. Have a great day. JC. You go, girl. Her body count is higher than a prawn star or used Honda. I knew girls. I went out with dates with gals that they were churchy. They had body counts over 50 and they've been divorced 2 years. Even love songs cause infidelity. There you go, Mega. Women can defeat Superman, Rad. They sure can. Because she settled for non-Chad, that good guy is to be harvested for all he is worth. My meatloaf fell apart. Yeah, that's reality. I just don't believe in monogamy. I don't think it works. I don't think it works. I think people get bored, complacency, all sorts of things. Did your wife ever ask you the idiotic questions like, would you love me if no? Like if I got fat? No, she never said that. 80% of divorces are initiated by women, and they say men have commitment issues. Yep. I can't find a man because you divorced him. And then you reject everybody else. The blue pill programming convinces men that the ultimate goal in life is finding the one, the woman, your soulmate, and that your life has no meaning apart from being with a woman. Oh, 100%. The programming is what keeps men in the blue pill. And the programming is so deep, there's no medicine. The only medicine is literally pain. And once you've had enough pain and you've opened your eyes to reality, then you start seeking solutions and answers. Why it happened, and typically stumble upon red pill channels. Why did my ex-wife leave me? Well, typically will lead to some get your ex back channel or to a red pill channel. There's plenty of psychology websites that list female sexual fantasies, and they're shocking and disgusting. I don't disagree with you. Bob Marley, no woman, no cry. There you go. Rest in peace, Bob Marley. I am John. Hi, Rad. Would not recommend marriage to anyone as it's been turned into a corrupt organization made to financially ruin men. Oh, the mafia are also involved, and the cartels are also involved in marriage. Good to see you. I am John. Good to have you back. Great comment. It's amazing how simple and peaceful your life becomes when you're not entertaining a lady. Virtually 90% of your stress just disappears. Now, why is that? We talked about, is it better to be single on the last live stream? You're able to stack more money, not have the financial stress, not have the physical stress, from the sacrifice you make, and all sorts of things. Your mental health improves, your emotional health improves, your spiritual health potentially can improve. But yeah, well said, Jay. Women, when I was married, it seemed a lot of men wanted me. And now that I'm divorced with children, no man is willing to. My sister's a perfect example. She just turned 50 today. She looks wonderful. She looks like she's 40, maybe late 30s. And she has not been married in 15 years after she divorced. She was divorced. My brother-in-law divorced her after her third affair. So, and she still can't get married. No guy wants to take on all that baggage. They got more baggage than JFK. The laws are aimed to benefit a matriarchal society. Get a law dictionary and look up the definition of marriage. It's not what you think it is. Holy matrimony died when our great-grandparents died. You know, well said, brother. The only stress should come from work, just a little bit, though. Well said, R. Father's back. Hope y'all week is going good. Father was playing his video games last night. Hey, if you want to play video games, Father, Christian Henny will play with you. Good to see Father. Check out Father's channel. He goes live a lot. Whatever doesn't complement your life is a hindrance. Ain't that the truth? If your ex left you, it means God wants to protect you. This chapter is over, Brother Rat. I'm 2 times divorced and I'm a Chad. Life goes on, better time. Absolutely. I literally believe it's a wonderful gift she gave me. Women are so vain, they probably think this stream is about them. This whole channel, bookshelf, is not about hate. It's just about understanding us, understanding the programming, understanding how we navigate life. Pick and choose, right? You can be with a woman or you can have peace. There you go. You might as well work your whole adult life and burn half the cash when you retire. And that's what divorce is. That's what divorce is. Single mothers have a hard time out there on the dating market, I'll tell you that. How about the single mothers that are pregnant looking for dates, looking for husbands? If you could time travel, do you think you could find a woman that is 2%? Probably. I think women back in the 50s it was a higher percentage. Again, different mentality, different programming at that stage. The programming in the last 30, 40 years is out of control. The programming 100 years ago was a lot different. People had to work to eat, right? Check out Father Saunders, Christian. He plays video games. The marriage and divorce laws are designed as a wealth transfer scam from men to women. That's all it is. That's all it is. And the courts, they're the middleman, so they get their fee. They get their cut. Ladies, the idea of you working to age 80 should bring a sense of calming peace. I'm so jealous. I will retire at age 55. How much longer is that, JC? If you're going to play with women, make sure you live in a state that doesn't have high child support payments. Massachusetts is the worst. One of the states goes up to 26 years old. Might be New York or New Jersey. Ladies, call Chad. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. What do you think could have fixed your marriage if your ex complied with you? I would have to have done everything she wanted. I would have had to have been a friend to my kids. I would have had to have given her everything she wanted. I was not willing to do that. No. We all wanted that blue pill fantasy. I still wish it were attainable, but we have to face reality we are given. Monogamy doesn't fit our times. It doesn't. And there's nothing wrong with the blue pill fantasy. We have to look at it for what it is. It doesn't exist. It's a fantasy. Men with money try to escape the system. Women with money feed into it. Well said. Ladies, TikTok, time is your super duper friend. I'm a good bye. Have a nice life. Oh, is it 26 in Massachusetts? Interesting. I know it was 21 in a lot of states. It's 18 in Utah. So I'm done. I was done last year. In those times, I see married couples always fighting in public and the man is never looking happy. The man looks sad and depressed. Well, I think he's realized that he's hit a brick wall. He's hit a brick wall in the marriage and being a provider and being a husband. There's no future. So he's going to probably gain weight, check out, go on YouTube, buy things off eBay, maybe get a hobby. There you go. Yeah, check out Saunders' channel and subscribe. Ladies, many of you will need to work until age 80. Have a nice day. I'm not good at that. I can game and just talk with no one else and post at time. That's about it. There you go, Father. Father's always great in the evening in his rocking chair and his lazy boy. It's 19 in Nebraska. Interesting. There are adults at 18 everywhere else, but 19, 21. It's again, just more ways to siphon the cash, more ways to siphon money from men. Monogamy has no longevity. If it did, high school sweethearts would stay intact. 96% failure of high school relationships. Think about that, guys. Cold meatloaf or hot meatloaf? I like me some hot meatloaf and some potatoes, right? Justin says, Utah is a good place for us, guys. Next time I get there, it's beer time with Rad. No problem, brother. Unless I'm in Mexico. This damn house needs to sell. Chads are doing Chad's work, revealing truth. Thank you, Chads. God's work he works in mysterious ways. I was happy with my monogamous wife, but apparently she was in an open relationship I didn't know. Damn. I'm sure most men don't know their wives are in an open relationship. 98% of women got narc traits, instant in comparison with other couples, and always nagging. No matter what you do, it's wrong or not good enough, and they use shaming language. Facts. What would your pre-divorce self make of your current YouTube channel? He'd probably like, that guy's an angry, bitter man. Everyone I know is divorced, and even for the few relationships that look healthy on the inside, suffer huge problems behind closed doors. Yep. Lack of sex, cheating, arguments, financial problems. Look at all the 48 hours. You can YouTube them. 48 hours, that television show. And it's all, oh, they seem like the perfect couple. The guy deletes her, or she deletes the guy. But they were so perfect. Their kid went to college. They were successful. Yeah, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. No one knows your relationship except you and your spouse. Being 100% in control of and in command of your life is optimal. Truth, JC. That happens a lot on women. It does sound very familiar. Married couples, man, you just never know, do you? I'd have believed every bit of it in my mind and probably would have still had to go through it so hard to believe it till it happens. Yeah, I mean, look at father. Married a gal, most likely a very attractive gal, adopted the kids that she had a couple more of his own, goes to war, gets shot up, comes back, and they use his defense of America as they weaponize that against him in his divorce. Worst story I've ever heard, but I'm sure it happens to so many vets. And by the way, Father, appreciate your service as of yesterday's Memorial Day. Modern women got unbelievable standards and provide nothing, only drama, and they take your house, your kids, everything. So what is the benefit of getting married? I'm still trying to find that out, Europe. I know my past glued self would talk mad shiz about me, but the feelings are mutual. F that guy. There you go. If you want to be homeless, get married. That'd be another wonderful bumper sticker. Crumbly meatloaf next time. Try adding in an extra egg or some more breadcrumbs, alternately rice, barley, cornflakes, crackers, and dried soup. I do every now and again, I do like some meatloaf. If it's done well. Women don't seem to be aware that their demands exceed their offers. Ooh, yeah, absolutely in agreement. Brad, when you were married, your ex-wife, did you get yes, she put out. I was one of the few. At least twice a week. Thanks for your service. Absolutely. Yeah, and he's father was on the front lines, man. I don't know how, I can't remember how many Purple Hearts you have, but I know he's got injury pay, which means he was in the line of some sort of fire or some sort of IED or what have you. But we definitely appreciate father. All right. Having a husband as a woman is a gift. Having someone to protect and provide for you. It's crazy how women feel entitled to that or just existing. Well said. And I'm going to cut this down right now, guys. In 2 minutes, meatloaf is fire. I have a killer recipe. I'd love to have it. Apparently, love is the answer for marriage. You will die alone. That's how it works. You'll die alone being married. Modern day Goonies, I'm glad with it. Goonies never say die. Goonies was filmed in Astoria, Oregon, an hour from where I grew up. 90% of Only Fool members are married men, so that should explain what men have to look forward to. Women are funny. When things don't go their way, they always resort to shaming tactic. It's all they can do. Well said, Jason. Welcome to equality. Work until 80. Have a nice day. She wants to be She-Hulk. Women want to be men. A lot of my attorney said that. They want to be men in a lot of ways. 18 years ago, I went to childhood neighbor's destination's wedding. He is divorced for 8 years. I don't get it. It really is that hard. It's very hard. You just get tired of each other. It really is. Europe says Beavis and Butthead will get all the chicks. Thank you for being here, John. Appreciate you all in here and all of the wonderful comments and chats and experiences. Never forget the elite will do anything to keep men stuck on the plantation. Always a great time as well. Wine is on aisle 4, cat food on aisle 9, and all the head meds in the pharmacy. I would swap lives with a hot woman in a heartbeat. All right, guys, you've been great. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great evening. I'm out.